Welcome to Cherry Laurel Lanes in Amherst, New York, and this is Summer BTC Live. Here are the top four finalists for tonight's Stepladder Finals. The number 4 seed making his first Beat the Champ Stepladder appearance from Buffalo, New York, Jeff Brown Jr. The number 3 seed from Springville, New York, Stephen Cavalieri. Seated second, appearing in the finals for the second straight week from Niagara Falls, New York, David Shelton. And your defending champion going for his 4th straight Summer BTC Live title from Tonawanda, New York, Mike Zarcone. Those are your 4 finalists for tonight's Summer BTC Live. And welcome everybody to Cherry Laurel Lanes in Amherst, New York. This is the Stepladder Finals of Summer BTC Live. I'm Joe Ciccone. Our defending champion is Mike Zarcone. He won 3 consecutive weeks last week at Malwitz's Island Lanes in Grand Island, and tonight he will go for his 4th straight championship win. He will be automatically seeded to our title match. He is your top seed. 3 bowlers are trying to knock him off for the new crown. And in the first match, you're watching the final practice shots of Stephen Cavalieri on the left and Jeff Brown Jr. on the right. The winner of that match will take on, from Niagara Falls, David Shelton. And then Mike Zarcone will be waiting in the wings. We have been here all day live. We want to thank all of you that have been on our live stream, and we want to welcome you if you're new to the stream. We have 3 live Stepladder final shows. The first show is, of course, now. The second one will be at 8 p.m. tonight, and then the third at 9 p.m. We have 9 bowlers who have made it from today's 4 p.m. qualifying round. This is the first set of bowlers, and after their practice shots, we'll get underway with the first match. Again, we are at Cherry Laurel Lanes, one of our great host centers for Beat the Champ. Our championship pair is lanes 5 and 6. This is a wood house, unlike last week where we had a Brunswick Pro Anvil surface. And we are bowling on a different pattern this week, and we'll give you a look at the pattern that we're bowling on. This is our lane pattern. It's middle road, 39 feet, 5.25 to 1 ratio. We've had decent scores, moderate to decent scores all day. We look for the same in the finals round. The lanes have obviously been reconditioned, and we are bowling on fresh. And they will not be real for the duration of tonight's Stepladder play. Appears the players have chosen their starting order. It's going to be Jeff Brown starting the match. There's your handshake, and let's get it underway. First match, Summer BTC Live. Welcome, everybody. If you're with us, the live chat is open. Jump in the chat all night. We'd love to hear from you. Jeff Brown gets us started on lane 5. And off to a good start for Jeff. Stephen Cavalieri making his return to the championship round for Beat the Champ. Stephen made the first show of last season at Transit Lanes. He's a regular at our qualifiers. He's been hungry to get back since then. And this is his first time back under the lights. Qualified with a 627 series in the 4 p.m. round. Overall, there were 8 bowlers, even or plus, in that round. So scores were not overly high, yet scores are still out there. We saw John McDowell with a big 814 in his qualifying round this morning. Stephen Cavalieri starts with a strike. Thank you for the subscribe. For those of you that are watching, please do like and subscribe. It certainly does help out the channel a whole bunch. And we're glad to be with you here on our YouTube channel. We thank those of you who have been with us throughout the year. Our entire season of 32 weeks on MSG is on our YouTube channel, and our new season will be back starting in September from Rochester, New York. Second frame now for Cavalieri. Again, 5 and 6. This has been the feature pair all day long. Two-hander. And so far, hey, I think he'll like that one. characteristics we've seen most of the day, especially on the fresh, has been a pretty decent amount of hook on the lanes. Obviously, it's a wood surface. This bowling center has been completely resurfaced this summer, so for those of you who may not have as much experience on wood lanes versus synthetics, this is a fresh coat of wood, fresh cut of wood, not just a screen and coat. And we are 4 shots, 4 strikes. Fast start to this one. Jeff Brown making his first appearance in a championship round for Beat the Champ. 42-year-old from Buffalo, New York, self-employed. This current league average of 216. Jeff Brown qualified with a 623 series in our 3-game qualifying round at 4 p.m. Looking for a 3-bagger. A little bit light. And he'll have a difficult spare to make here. Two, 4, 5, 7, 8, bucket plus. And no, a lot of ways you can chop that one. Early opening to Cavalieri. Stephen Cavalieri is 30 years old. Hometown of Springville, New York. This is currently average as 211. He lists his occupation as a bridge repair assistant for the New York State Department of Transportation. That sounds like a grueling job to me. Looking for an opening 3-bagger. And he's there. So he takes full advantage of that break. And he's off to a nice early lead. This is the second of our summer BTC live events this season. We had 3 stepladder finals last week from Mullitz's Island Lanes. You can check out the replay of those videos on our YouTube channel. And you can check out for yourself how Mike Zarcone was able to emerge as our 3-time defending champion, looking for 4 tonight. 4th frame now, Cavalieri. And that's a 4-bagger. So off to a great start, actually, in this game. We have seen some very good scores today, and we've seen some struggles. Of course, now the players are not needing to change pairs anymore, as they did throughout the day. And so if these lanes transition to their liking, and they can get lined up, we have the potential for some nice scores today. Good shot there for Jeff Brown Jr. Old his high school days in Randolph, New York. I'm not sure. I believe this may be the first event that Jeff has bowled in any of our Beat the Champ qualifiers. I'm not sure if he's competed in any before this particular weekend or not. And ringing tempo. No trouble with the spare, still facing an early deficit. 37 pins the difference in this match. Cavalieri bowl in the 5th frame with the first 4 strikes. We are stationed directly behind our feature pair of lanes to watch this. It's going to be left of target. And does he get the break? Not this time. 310. Some work to do in the 5th. for the baby split. And just enough. Just glad for that 21 feet of hook at the end of this pattern with that plastic ball spare shot. Still avoids real trouble. .35-pin lead for Cavalieri. Steven did have choice in this match and did elect to let Jeff start, which means he would finish on the left lane. So you would expect that he either wanted to put his score on the board first or he liked this left lane better. Through the nose again, breaks down the split this time. Should be no trouble with the spare here. I spoke too soon. Perhaps the announcer jinx in effect there. And just what you don't want to do is jump out to an early lead and give your opponent a chance to get back in the match. Now a 23-pin lead here for Brown. If he can strike twice here, he can cut that down to 13. Good shot there. Definitely want to jump on your opponent when you have him down. And Cavalieri was fortunate to turn an early break into a four-bagger. He has now given some of that back. And Jeff Brown is looking at a far better situation than he was 2 frames ago. He can cut the lead to 13 if he can strike here. A little high. Oh, well, hey, one break apiece. Cavalieri now in the 7th. Light this time, leaves the 2-8. Spare in the 8th now for Cavalieri. Again, welcome everybody. We have had some audio difficulties throughout the day, and we do have some audio difficulties that we learned. Thank you for telling us that we are ironing out. Hopefully we'll get that better for you here. In the meantime, here's Jeff Brown. does not convert the double. Open now in the 8th. It does appear that Steven will likely get through this match after that open. 26-pin lead going into the final 2 frames. Not the best effort there from Cavalieri. He's likely going to be okay. He's got a nice cushion. Not the easiest of spares. However, even if he doesn't make this, staying clean at the 10th is going to be enough. Brown can strike out in this game for 199. And a spare there just means a simple amount of count for Cavalieri, and he will win this first match. Nine pins on the first ball will do it. That would give him 200 were he not to make the spare. 8 on the first ball would only be 198. So he needs 9 on the first ball will end it. Anything less than he's going to have a little bit more work to do. And well, this is going to make things a bit more interesting. Steven is going to need to make this spare. If he were to get 2, he would finish with 198, and Jeff Brown can strike out for 199. And he's shot a few of these 310 combinations so far. This one looks better than the others. And dare I say that with only needing 1 pin that we're good here? Daryl Mercado in the chat, one of our regular bowlers. Thank you for being on the stream, Daryl. That's going to be enough. Stephen Cavalieri with a phenomenal start and a so-so finish has enough to win this first match. 209 for Cavalieri. He will move on to take on David Shelton. Good showing here for Jeff Brown. I'm sure we'll see Jeff again in future qualifiers, future shows. Watch him finish out this match. And after that, we'll tell you about our opening weekend. Wash out for Brown. Possible 185 if he were to make the spare here. Chance to show off. Doesn't quite make it. It's going to be a 209 to 174 victory. Stephen Cavalieri moves on. Jeff Brown with a 4th place finish. I want to remind everybody about our opening weekend. This is the first week of competition. in the 2025-26 regular season Beat the Champ TV series. We'll be on MSG Network starting again this fall, and this is our first qualifier, and we welcome all of you to take part. No matter where you're from, we've gotten many questions about, do I have to be from Buffalo to bowl? Do I have to be from New York to bowl? No, you do not. If you are within any distance that you want to drive in, come on in and bowl our events. August 15th to 17th is opening weekend. We're at ABC Gates Bowl in Rochester, New York, one of our great host centers. We're doing this all in 1 week, and we've got a Friday night sweeper at 7 p.m. It's over-under doubles, which basically means one bowler that's 50 or over and one bowler that's under 50. And that is, thanks to ABC Gates Bowl, a $1,500 first place guaranteed sweeper. On Saturday, we'll have Beat the Champ qualifying all day, starting at 10 in the morning. And then we will tape 4 shows on Sunday, August 17th. We would love to have you there with us. And if you want more details, you can always check out our Facebook page, Beat the Champ presented by Storm, and we'll give you all the details on those upcoming events. Players now warming up for the next match. David Shelton gets 4 practice shots. He obviously was on our show last week. He's looking to better the finish that he had at Mullitz's Island Lanes. And the winner of this match between Shelton and Cavalieri will have a run at the first title of this set of shows. During this match, we are going to bring in a guest into the commentary booth, and I will be joined by our regular our regular color commentator for Beat the Champ presented by Storm, Sue Navoyski, who is the owner of Cherry Laurel Lanes, will be joining us for some commentary during this game. And we'll remind you again that coming up next, after this show, will be our second Stepladder show from here at Cherry Laurel Lanes with another group of finalists. And either Mike Zarcone or somebody else will be our defending champion in that show. David Shelton now wrapping up his practice shots. He will have choice.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It does appear, the way the names are being input, that he is allowing Stephen Cavalieri to start this match. So it'll be Cavalieri and Shelton in the second match of the night. Summer BTC Live. And once we get a handshake, we'll be underway. There we have it. Cavalieri starts the match. Opening strike for Cavalieri in match 2 after his first game win. David Shelton steps up, opening his match from Niagara Falls, 24 years old, his second straight week. If you watched from Mullitz's Island Lanes, he was on show 2. Struggled a bit on the show. Bowled well again this week, leading the qualifier. Certainly looking for a better showing, and he's out of the gate much better. He definitely started with some nervous shots last week, and so I'm sure now that he's gotten a week under his belt, this feels a lot more comfortable. Special guest in the booth with us this game, we have the color commentator for Beat the Champ, presented by Storm on MSG. It is Sue Whiskey. Welcome, Sue.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? So glad to have you here.
Good. It's good to be back.
Sue is co-proprietor here at Laurel Lanes in Amherst, New York. This is our first visit here since we restarted the show, and they have been tremendous hosts thus far. Sue, how has the experience been?
Oh, it's great. I mean, fortunately, we're going to get this in another couple months again, and we'll get on MSG, but we'll get all the kinks out on this one, although I think it ran pretty smoothly, and we had a good turnout for it. And I've seen some new faces that we haven't seen in past shows, and that's been fun, is to see some new bowlers and kind of get an idea of what kind of worked here, you know. I mean, this is a little different shot than our house shot, and so it's been interesting to watch it play out.
Close call there for Shelton. Yeah, we, for each of these summer BTC Live, we did put out non-house shot events. We do have a variety of those events throughout the year, and I think we'll have a variety during this upcoming season with some house shot events, some non-house shot. Certainly opening weekend in Rochester, we've already announced that will be a non-house shot event. We don't announce the pattern ahead of time. We do provide a graph when the players get here so that they can at least take a look at what they're bowling on once they do get here.
Right, when they unload their 12 bowling balls, and then they can pick and choose once they see the shot.
Cavalieri now in second. And another big break early. We definitely saw this week many players, especially in the first round, once their 10 minutes of practice started, were running for the car during that time.
Yep.
Wood lanes here. A lot of bowlers may not have as much exposure to wood lanes anymore. However, you not only have a traditional wood surface here, you also have a fresh resurface on these lanes.
Right, we had them done this summer, so they're actually playing about as true as they're going to play, and the approaches have been done too. So everything looks really clean and really nice. But, you know, as the characteristics of wood lanes and how they break down is always a challenge. A different kind of challenge than sometimes what bowlers are used to.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of, this has been kind of the inverse of last week at Island Lanes. We were on a 44-foot pattern there, and at the beginning of practice you saw a lot of 3 off the right and balls hitting the 6-pin on the right side, or the 3-pin on the right side, and here you saw a lot of balls hitting the 2-pin going left.
Yep. I saw a lot of that. I was watching, and I don't think I've ever seen the ball hook so late and, you know, miss the head pin to the left the way it was earlier, and that's kind of what they had to get used to and wait for it to tone down some, and controlling the back ends was the big thing today. And I noticed that the left-handers had a different, you know, it was different for them because they changed slower for them than, because there's not as many as right-handers. So for David here to rise to the top the way he did, he bowled really great.
Good shot there. I definitely will agree with all of that. I think it's tremendous for the bowlers to get a variety over all the different bowling centers that we bowl at, different patterns, whether it be house shot, non-house shot. You really can't necessarily dial into one thing on any given week. Some versatility and the ability to make adjustments certainly is imperative here.
Well, absolutely. And then, you know, we give them fresh oil, you know, throughout the day and start the TV show here. Of course, they had fresh oil. So for those who bowled later and bowled on lanes that had already been bowled on, when they got on the fresh oil, they had a new challenge. And some still made it. Some still bowled very well.
Cavalieri now stepping up in the 4th frame. He has seen his lead turn into a deficit here by 1 pin. Welcome again, everybody that's watching with us live. If you're new to the stream or if you've been with us all day, we're joined by co-proprietor of Laurel Lanes and color commentator on Beat the Champ, Sue Navoyski. And if those of you who are out there watching live and you have questions for Sue, get in the live chat and we may be able to have her answer a few questions for you while we're on. Messenger 10.
Oh, a little messenger there. Well, he's happy.
So far, the breaks have seemed to be going Steven's way. He's gotten a few high hits. Messenger 10 there.
Well, the first time I saw Stephen bowl was on our very first telecast over at Translanes, which would have been a very different shot than this. And then I saw him come here in Travel League, and just a week later, and bowled here, and he realized, how different this place was. And it looks like he figured it out, because here he is.
And I think that another big break coming here. No, it doesn't trip this one. I think that for Steven, when he walked in today, I got a sense that he was perhaps a bit apprehensive, with a wood surface, and not necessarily a short pattern, at least a little more medium pattern. I mean, a two-hander does hook the ball. He made it through the qualifying round. I think he bowled twice today. He's been a regular at all of our stops. He qualifies nearly, or tries to qualify nearly every time. He made that first show at Transit and got a taste, and he's wanted to get back into the finals for quite some time now.
No, he looks like he's having fun.
A few wins will do that for you.
Yeah.
I think that David Shelton will look to turn that around. David Shelton is a pro shop operator out of Niagara Falls, New York, 24 years old. He lists currently average of 212. And I want to get this correct. I believe he is the nephew of PBA player and Niagara Falls superstar Pat Healy.
No kidding, I did not know that.
I believe it's nephew. I hope I'm getting that correct.
Wow, I bowled with Pat. Did you bowl with Pat?
I did bowl with Pat, yes.
He was a great bowler. Well, it's a different, it's also, different for these bowlers who do work in pro shops or run pro shops, because especially when we talk about something like controlling the back ends or wood lanes, and wood lanes, of course, the fronts will go, the heads will go a little bit sooner, change the pattern quite a bit. There's an advantage to kind of knowing how bowling balls are drilled and what bowling ball to pull out, because that's always a big challenge, because we know what technology is to this game. And I always think about whether someone with that extra added knowledge, if that helps them or if it overcomplicates things, No,
I think David is a good example of that. He bowled a few of our qualifiers, struggled in a few, didn't make it to the next round, didn't make it to TV, and you've seen an uptick. The more he's bowled, the more he's become accustomed to what he's looking at out there, made adjustments, found a way to better his results. And even in these two shows between last week and this week, if you watch the show from Mike Maltz's Island Lanes, he struggled, and he got out of the gate rough, and perhaps it was nerves, or perhaps it was just a long day of bowling, and perhaps he wasn't, his hand wasn't in the shape it needed to be, and this week he's got a better outlook, a better game plan, and even the results, despite that missed spare, the results are showing that.
Yeah, he was impressive all day. He caught my eye early, just by his ball reaction, and he's got a great game, very smooth.
Daryl Mercado in the chat says, "Great house, Sue. Great job there." I'm sure you appreciate that. I'm sure you're happy to hear that. I know they've done a lot of work here.
It's definitely a work in progress, but it's fun.
As a proprietor, and as one of the on-air hosts of Beat the Champ presented by Storm and MSG, what kind of impact have you seen personally, through at your center, or backup ball, this is the spare. What kind of impact have you seen, out and about or in your center with just the amount of exposure that this show is getting?
That's a great question. I was just out the other night, and was going to my seat when someone grabbed my arm and said, "Hey, when's Beat the Champ coming back?" Or, "I watched the show the other day." And, I get questions everywhere. There's no place that I can go where there isn't somebody who has seen the show and recognizes me from the show. And it's all positive feedback. Now, on this side of it, as a proprietor, I love the fact that it sparks some interest in some bowlers that are in that 195, 200 range, comes out here, bowls, and they have an idea what's going on, but they're still out here having fun with their friends. But this has made them motivated to get to the show. So I've seen them come and practice, which is great to see more people practicing. And with the sole goal of getting to this show. And I love that. So that's what I've seen on this end. Is the people that really do have a chance to make the show want to push themselves that extra up to that next level to get here.
I think that rings true, and even what we see in the qualifiers on an event-by-event basis. You see all different types of people out here to try and compete. Some have done this before, some haven't, and they've watched it on TV. They want their chance to be a part. And even if they're new to it and just looking to gain experience, that each time they compete, they're going to be better for it the next time they compete.
Oh, I agree 100%. First of all, it's so much fun, but it's totally different. I know that when I bowl competitively, if I go out and bowl tournament and stuff like that, my mentality when I come back to bowl leagues is completely different. I feel like one step ahead of everybody by having been in a competitive atmosphere, and you can't. It's experience that it just can't be compared to anything else.
Very aggressive offering there in the 8th frame for Shelton. Stretches his lead to 20 pins now, and it's going to force Stephen Cavalieri to try to claw back into this one. 2 real good shots there, and he looks so much more comfortable than he did last week. I talked to him a bit, and he said he did struggle with. He bowled an early squad last week, made the cut, decided to bowl another squad to bowl for brackets, and had some hand problems after that. And I think he's rectified that situation, to say the least, here. That's going to be a good shot to build the foundation here for Steven to get back in this match.
Well, he's been in this position before, so he knows what he has to do. So he's, 20 pins down right now?
20 pin match, you can cut it to 10 here. This is really, I think, a must strike, because if he doesn't strike here, he simply won't have any chance to gain any more pins.
Oh, right, he's just running out of time, that's all. So I would agree with that.
Struck on this lane all game.
Did you not say that the brakes were going his way today?
Yeah, and that was a very necessary one.
Don't see the trip 2-8 too often.
He's tripped a lot. He's got it going here. He cuts the lead down, so put the pressure back on, even though he still has the lead. We've seen some good shots from Shelton so far. I believe David Shelton is a league bowler at your center too.
We have yet to verify that.
I've seen him here bowl. He may have just been subbing.
Yeah. Could be.
He's not an every week bowler. This looks like a good release here. Oh, is that a weird hit?
And I did not want to give it the announcer's curse by saying when your opponent trips something that should never have struck, I can almost guarantee you're going to go up and get tapped. And I did not want to do it to this poor man.
That was a weird hit, because it didn't appear to me that was a solid 9 so much as a kind of almost like a 7-9 type hit where the 7 went and the 9 stood. I don't know if I may have just not caught that completely. Either way,
his body was kind of blocking us, but the pins do look like they just slid by the 9. Was supposed to take it out and just missed it.
Urethane for David this game. Stephen Cavalieri, I believe, in reactive resin. Possible max score for Shelton now of 226. Stephen Cavalieri can strike out for 227. Sue, we had a tie last week at Island Lanes, and we had a roll-off. Perhaps another one here?
Yeah. Well, this condition is, to me, the perfect condition for what urethane was created for. And I think Steve is getting breaks, but he's getting stranger things happening on the lanes because he's using the resin ball. And again, he's gotten some breaks he probably shouldn't have gotten. But this is where urethane smooths out the lane surface, because they're hooking in the back end. And this is exactly when you pull out urethane, when you see a shot like this.
Yeah, perhaps Steven is able to continue this run and keep winning matches, then you would think that his shot might continue to get better and better, where the lanes just haven't completely settled down. Another bad break for Shelton there. He's thrown great shots this match.
Yes, he has.
It's not over. He's not out of this.
Nope.
It's going to be 216 with a spare. Cavalieri, if he would have thrown 9 on the first shot in the 10th, would not win. He would need the first strike here. In fact, he will need actually the first 2 strikes. He has 227 possible. If he were to go strike 9 spare, that would be 216. And Shelton's going to finish with 216. So Stephen,
Big spare here. Okay.
yes, covers his mark. Stephen is going to need a double to win this match in regulation. And he will need the first one for any chance to win this match.
I'm counting back, and it's not like he's struck every time he's been up on this lane, but he has struck
3 of 4.
3 of 4.
I was just counting the same thing.
Mm-hmm. It seems like his better shots were on lane 6.
Shelton did have the choice of starting in this game.
We always talk about that on the show. There is a method to that.
Must have this strike for any chance. Left to target. Base full penalty.
Yes, he definitely got that in.
That's going to be enough for David Shelton to get this win. He's going to move on to our title match against our reigning 3-time champion, Mike Zarcone. Sue, Mike's been on the show many times, and you and I both know that he loves Beat the Champ. And he wants to be involved all the time.
And if anybody's wondering why they haven't seen a lot of him, it was because he did have an elbow injury, and it did keep him out about the last 2-3 months of our qualifying for the show. So it's nice to see that he's got that rectified and he's back. And he is a character, and we love to have him on the show.
Well, Sue, we thank you for joining us. We know that we will be back here for television on the upcoming season of Beat the Champ presented by Storm on MSG. And thank you for taking some time out of your busy day here to join us on commentary. And we look forward to listening to you on the shows and being back at your center again soon.
Well, thanks for helping me get get a little. I was a little rusty.
Perfect practice.
getting ready for next month. All right, thanks, Joe. Keep up the good
Sue.
work. Thanks.
That was Sue Navoyski, color commentator with Paul Peck on our Beat the Champ presented by Storm TV series on MSG Network. She's been here busy working all day, keeping things flowing for all these bowlers. Giving them the chance to bowl for a nice weekend's tournament. Nice weekend of tournament action. Plenty of bracket action today here. And 3 stepladder finals. All these players looking to become the next Beat the champion. And we'll tell you a little bit about the upcoming season. Beat the Champ presented by Storm returns to MSG this fall. Shows starting late September. And we've been on MSG Network for all of this season. If you are in the Buffalo and Western New York area, you know it's the same network where the Buffalo Sabres play. They've been great TV partners for us, and we're looking forward to getting back on the air. We will have 32 weeks of coverage again this season, culminating with our signature event, the 2026 Beat the Champ Invitational. So be sure and watch for those shows starting back on MSG. And, of course, we archive those shows all on our YouTube channel here. So all you have to do to be a part of the YouTube channel is watch for our videos, subscribe to the channel so you get those notifications. Whenever we have new content, we post those shows weekly. Thank all the viewers. We've had an enormous amount of interest in the shows this season, and we look forward to bringing more of them to you. Got a bunch of people in the chat. We have a great audience watching the show tonight. Thank you all for being with us. We are on our way to our championship match. Zarcone getting his practice shots. He gets 6 shots. The winner of the match prior does not get any more practice shots on the TV pair. They are allowed to stay loose on the practice pair. I did not see Steven taking any warm-up shots on that pair, so he's elected to stick with what he's got. Talked to Mike Zarcone earlier today, and he mentioned that he drilled a new ball before this weekend. I think in anticipation of bowling on the surface. He told me he doesn't use urethane a whole lot. He has drilled a urethane ball, and that is what he's practicing with now. Probably a smart play. Again, the defending champion, as Mike is, he has the option. He may bowl the qualifier. His score will not count to requalify. The defending champion may not requalify. However, he can bowl to get used to the shot and bowl for brackets. If he elects not to do that, then he does get a practice pair of his own, fresh oil, when he gets to the building before these shows. And he does get a select amount of time by himself on that pair to work through getting familiar with the shot, changing surfaces on bowling balls, whatever he'd like to do before being joined by the other finalists. So Mike elected to just take that practice time. More or less the rest of these bowlers have bowled already and have a little bit more knowledge of the condition than he might have. So is it an advantage to be seeded to this title match, or is it an advantage to the player who's won the match before? There's our handshake. In about 20 minutes, we'll have the answer to that question. David Shelton will start this match. And Mike Zarcone did have the choice, and as he chose last week, he has chosen to finish the match first by allowing Shelton to start. I think during the break I said that Stephen Cavalieri wasn't practicing. I don't know what I was talking about. Stephen Cavalieri's not bowling in this match. Of course he wasn't practicing. Nobody caught that in the chat? They may have just been being nice to me. That doesn't sound in Gino's nature. I'm sure he would have pointed that out. See Gino in the chat. Thank you all for watching. Brandon Rolling bowled in our event today, bowled well. He's in the chat watching the shows. Daryl Bricado bowled in our event. A bunch of our bowlers I see in our chat area. Here is our 3-time defending champion, Tonawanda, New York, 57-year-old Mike Zarcone. He loves to be a part of this series. And he is off to a good start. At first instinct, watching his first shot, I feel a bit surprised and at the same time not surprised on part of the lane he's chosen to play. Last week on a 44-foot pattern, Mike played the gutter, and this week on a pattern that's 5 feet shorter, he's playing in, although I think this is going to be more often where Mike does play the lanes. And not able to shake this one out. Throwing urethane. Again, I talked to him earlier, and he said that he's really never used urethane hardly at all. And he usually does hook at his spares. And this pattern, this could be treacherous. The ball really wants to break loose in the back end. Shelton also using urethane here, as he did last week, I believe. Title match, Summer BTC Live. Cherry Laurel Lanes. Good shot there. He's performed well so far on this show. Could have had, he won the match. Could have easily, closed that match out himself with the quality of shots that he made. It still worked out for him. And all you can do is put yourself in a position where you have a chance to win. And he's done that here, and now he finds himself in the title match, trying to take this title. If he were to win, he would return in our next show to defend. And just a bit in, you could tell by his reaction. Worse than a solid 8. See a lot of people in the chat rooting for David. Glad to have you all along. No trouble with the spare. So far, a back and forth start to this one. We ask the players to fill out a bio sheet when they make our shows. And one of the questions is, how many total 300s do you have, if you have any? And the number that Mike Zarcone wrote on his sheet is 152. Ugh. Could have had a better result than that for that shot. Seventh pin. And perhaps it was foreshadowing. This is a tricky lane condition to navigate the amount of hook that there is in the back end. And this is the way Mike elects to shoot spares. Many would prefer the route of throwing straight, perhaps with the ball that doesn't hook as much. This is comfortable for Mike. That time it bites him. And he's back with a good shot. He's given an early edge now to Shelton, 12 pin advantage. No strike working for Shelton here, so he won't be able to add to the edge, which perhaps is fortunate for Zarcone. Great shot there. Very impressive, but much more settled in player than we watched last week. Much more comfortable out there. Perhaps this is more the true player on exhibition than we saw in Grand Island. Question in the chat if Mike is throwing the urethane. He is. In fact, both players are. Mike told me he drilled this ball he's using this weekend for this tournament. Week 7. Another shot in play. He has the lead. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you're live with us or if you're watching on replay, we know a lot of you are watching on demand on our YouTube channel. Drop us a comment, drop us a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Share it with your friends. Our second live event this summer. We are live coast to coast from Amherst, New York. Zarcone with a strike working, 12-pin deficit, can cut that to 2 if he can strike here. This would be a nice hit for his confidence. Sixth frame now. Start the 12 pins now. Let's cut it to 2. This shot give him a lead by 8. No luck on the 10 pin. Still trail by 3, provided he makes the spare. Again, Shelton does not have a strike up, so he can't stretch it. The only bowler with a double so far in this match is Zarcone. Shelton has made a lot of good shots. Mr. Smokehouse 6 watching from Minnesota. Thank you. If you're watching with us live or even on replay, jump in, tell us where we're watching from. We love to hear where everybody is viewing our shows. Good shot there for Shelton in the 6th. Back and forth. Again, Zarcone had the choice in this match. He elected to allow Shelton to start. He has struck every shot he's thrown on the right lane, and that's the lane he's going to finish on. So could that be his edge? He needs to convert. Essentially, if he keeps striking on lane 6, just one strike on lane 5 is a 3-bagger by that rationale, and that would be huge for him in this match. This time he gets it. Zarcone, 97 in the 5th, spare up. Shelton, 13-pin lead, 2 strikes working. Mary Norton from Kentucky, thank you for being with us. And doesn't like that one as much. Cameron Shelton says watching from Canada. And some Canadians watching throughout the day today. We'd love to have some Canadians come down and bowl our events. Got a perfect event for you in Rochester, August 15th and 17th. Mike covers the spare, finds himself in a little bit of trouble here now to retain his title for a 4th straight show. Daryl Mercado is watching from all the way in Lancaster, New York. He's already home from the qualifier, I guess. I swear he was just here. Of course, he was on the show last week, and now he's in the chat. Good shot there. Bins from Tennessee, I'll assume is the way that's you are wanting that to be pronounced. Mr. Nobody from Atlanta, Georgia. Isn't that Brock Purdy? Oh, that's Mr. Irrelevant. My bad. John Rucky from Las Vegas. Welcome, John. Little 95 from Los Angeles. Viewers all over the place. We're so glad. Randy, I need to get a correct pronunciation of your name. Salshevsky is what I went with. You know, you can tell me if I'm correct in the chat or if I've completely gotten that way off. 6-pin for Shelton. Bailey Waymeyer, I'm going to guess on, asks is this a house shot or a sport shot? This is the exact pattern they're bowling on this week is called Middle Road. It's a 39-foot pattern, 5.25 to 1 ratio. Last week at Island Lanes, this was a 44-foot pattern with a 3.24 to 1 ratio. I would say the scores have been moderately higher this week than they were at Island. Seen some good scores. John McDowell fired a huge 8-14 in one of the qualifying rounds today. Took a run at the house record actually here at Cherry Laurel Lanes, just short of that. So it's been a big day of bowling here. Buy Stock says go Bills. I'll echo that. Looking forward to the season, as I'm sure many are. 15-pin lead now for Shelton. Zarcone has the strike up. Shot, and he sets him up in the foundation. So it's going to be on Mike to do some work here. Possible 224 for Mike Zarcone. Shelton, possible 229. No matter what he does, Mike Zarcone cannot shut out David Shelton. Truly needs this one. This looks pretty good to me. He doesn't get the break on the 7. So we may be looking at his 3-week winning streak coming to the end here. Again, the winner of this match will return in our next show, and that'll be next live here. We have an 8 p.m. start time scheduled on our next show, and that will be immediately following us on our YouTube channel. And the way this YouTube setup works, so long as we've got it set up properly, is whenever this stream ends, and we will stop this stream after this show before the next show starts, a new stream will start. You will be automatically redirected to that stream, so there's really nothing that you really even need to do. No matter what you're watching on, it should automatically take you there. We've got 3 Stepladder finals tonight, 3 separate shows as we did last week, and you can watch those archived on our YouTube channel. This is the first of those 3. Zarcone now in the 10th. Possible 204. That would force Shelton to mark of any kind. Doesn't get this one, which will lighten the load. Possible 94 now. 8 pins on the first ball for Shelton. Give him 195. That would be enough. So 8 on the first ball, and we will have a new champion. We do have a new champion, and it's Niagara Falls' David Shelton. Led the qualifying here in the 4 o'clock round today, and he has turned that into a title. Okay, a great run from Mike Zarcone, and David Shelton looks to start a run of his own. One more shot to finish out this game. He's going to be in the 220s. We'll go back. David Shelton wraps up that game. He is your champion. And he takes down the title, and we'll move on to our next show, Show 5. Coming up next here on our YouTube channel, it'll be David Shelton as the #1 seed, facing 3 new challengers. If you're live on the stream, you should be automatically redirected to the next show. If you're watching on replay or on demand, check out our channel. Jump on the playlist for Summer BTC Live. Either way, check out Show 5. Coming to you from Cherry Laurel Lanes in Amherst, New York. Champion of your first show here is David Shelton.